Greetings, royal queens and kings. How are you doing? Listen here, we are back for another review on the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is going to be a review, episode number 7. Of course, we're in season 9, but this is episode 7 that we are going to be reviewing. Hard launch, soft ending, Jazzy Rideaux's event at the Willard. And this is Real Housewives of Potomac. And this is on the Bravo network, you all. On episode 7 o'clock is ticking on Karen's court date as she gets pressed for details by Ashley and Gizelle and examine what may have really caused her DUI. According her calls her DUI accident. Now, meanwhile, Jassi hosts an event for her fiance, Darius Harris. All right, now that was kind of a tongue twister, right? Listen here, it has been a wonderful, fabulous day. The current time is 11:55 p.m. Central Time. Today is Wednesday, November the 2nd. And we will be reviewing, like I said, this episode was very interesting. I was very excited. It just took me to a whole nother level, right? Took me to a whole nother level of happiness. It's like I'm not gonna lie, like I miss times like this, right? So let's get into it. So on episode 7, so Karen comes on, she is watering her plants, of course. They're doing like the backstories of kind of like they did like the backstories of kind of like what happened on the last episode. So Kiki is here giving the business shout, okay? And I'm really loving Kiki. She looks very beautiful in the setting with her family business, her practice where, her husband has now added her as an employee. So shout out to her. You will be able to see that at the beginning of the show. She's kind of in there talking to the ladies. It was very cute, very demure, very mindful. So Mia and Jacqueline, they end up having to sit down. They end up chatting it up. Stacey and her boyfriend is at her pad, and they are deciding to chat. So Stacey tells her dude TJ that the girls were talking about him, and he was like, well, what did they say? She was like, that that he was cheating on her, or he wasn't faithful and things like that. Kind of like when your girlfriends don't really know the whole story. Because let's be honest, I feel like us ladies, yeah, we can talk to our girlfriends, but we should always have some type of secret that we just keep to ourselves, right? We can't tell them everything. So Stacey says they're going to do something, and so the occasion was this was like a house date in her apartment. and they had did like a painting, and so they're at the table, they're painting, and Stacy brings up the idea. She's like, "Well, the winner gets to choose whatever they want." So he had asked, I don't know, she was insinuating like she wanted to do something because I guess she was pressured because the ladies were like, is he really interested in you? Or, are y'all going to do something? So, like I said, there was a prize or whatever. And he says he wants to go to the track as his prize. And so Stacy said that she would gift him like a day at the spa, you know. Hey Norris, Tony, how you doing? How are you doing? Good to see you. So listen here, Stacy said that she was going to gift him, if he had won, a date at the spa. So now you but he was like, also like I said, she also said, like, kind of insinuated that she wanted to have like some loving or whatever the case may be. But then TJ was like, well, some people ask Santa Claus for a new car. That doesn't mean that they're gonna get it. And it was just, I don't know, with Stacy and TJ, it was a little awkward, I must say. It was definitely very awkward. And I wasn't even in the room. So TJ asked about her divorce, and of course, Stacey explains, they got to go through mediation and kind of figure out, who's going to get what, and this, that, and the third. And so, that part right there, I do commend him on, because there are some men out here past the holy who will allegedly get on out there and just be friendly. So I do feel like it it's all about the foundation, and people might laugh and be like, oh my god, he's so quirky, or he's gay, or this, that, and the third. Like, there are some men out there that actually do want to take the time to get to know the woman. I mean, you gotta be friends first, you've got to be friends first. And when it's time, it's time. Everybody's time is different, everybody's experience is different. Now, speaking of time and everybody being different, oh my goodness. So they get on over to oh, no, no, no. So we're still on Stacy and TJ. So she also says that the ladies feel like, he's not a man of God, he's gonna be cheating on her. And this man gonna tell her, because she told him that they think that that he was running game on her. He said, they ain't making fun of you and me, they making fun of God. Baby, that took me out. Let me have a swig of my water. Baby, that took me out, because he's just like, he's super humorous. He's like very bubbly. He has a lot of energy. But what I can say is I enjoy a man like that. Like, he's very involved. And I believe that if he and Stacy did end up having a baby, I think they would be a great father as well. So let's go ahead and move on. So then we move on to Gizelle and Ashley. They meet up at Ashley's house, and they're discussing Karen court date, and it's approaching, and they're having all these little conversations before she get there. So then Karen arrives. Ashley says she hadn't seen Karen since the Lake Norman. And Karen said that, she was pretty much upset, and Mia and Jacqueline, brought up that Karen wants to go to rehab. Because they had brought that to Stacy, and Ashley was in there too. So Ashley was involved too. And I don't know why Ashley sits up here and act like, oh my God, I didn't know, I'm so innocent. Like, girl, you were in there in the room. You were opening your eyes real big. You were making these gestures. You were very surprised because y'all sat in there, and Mia showed you her charges. Why didn't you bring that up at the table while you were at the table with Karen and Gizelle? And I feel like that could have saved you some grace. That could have saved you some grace, and that could have been a step up for you to go ahead and kind of acknowledge your wrongs in the past, like right your wrongs, you know. So Karen says that Mia had an opioid addiction. She said it's on YouTube, child. And you know what? Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that video. She said that it was on YouTube. Okay. Well, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Oh, okay, here it is. Child, get into it. I found the article. So here, since we're in it, let me go ahead and bring up the article so we can have the facts right here in front of us, right? Let's see. Okay, okay, okay. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up.
Opioid crisis, and we've got alternatives to help you get rid of the pain-free drug. We'll tell you about that coming up. Opioid addiction is a growing epidemic in the U.S., and when going to seek medical treatment.
All right, now, so listen here. This is Mia Thornton. She is on this news broadcast, okay? Here, let me go ahead and get the date. We need to give credit where credit is due. Let me go ahead and subscribe. Let me like. And this was 5 years ago. It says that it was posted. That was April 18th of 2019. Okay, April 18th of 2019, guys. Let's go.
Treatment, there may be a way you can opt out of using opioids to treat pain. Dr. Andrew Jordan and Mia Fields Thornton believe that chiropractic care is a great alternative to opioid medications. And they join us now to tell us more about that. We'll begin with you, doctor, because I'm sure there are people that are watching right now that are saying, what are those alternatives and how can that help?
Well, chiropractic care is a great alternative. Opioids are most commonly prescribed to deal with pain, and back pain represents 1 out of every 4 opioid prescriptions written. So chiropractic care works to treat dysfunction in the spine, especially joint dysfunction. When you have irritation between how the joints are moving, it's going to affect the.
All right. So listen here. The doctor is there. He is there. He's informing. And Mia is there, and she's going to share her story. So I want to get up to where Mia shares her story, because I feel like this is very relevant. All right, let's go.
Talk about how chiropractic care has been great for you.
Well, for me, I had a very traumatic childhood growing up here in the DC, Maryland area, which unfortunately led me to an opioid overdose at a very young age. I was hospitalized for weeks, and then I decided to search for a more holistic form of medicine, at which I was introduced to chiropractic care at that time. When I met my husband, I had been receiving chiropractic care for years. So when we were introduced to the joint model, it was a no-brainer.
All right, so I'm not mad at Mia. She's got her the joint chiropractor. She did take the ladies to the joint chiropractor when they were in North Carolina at Lake Norman. Remember? We'll let her finish and then we'll give our commentary. This falls under the fair use. Okay, let's go.
For us, we soon became owners in the North Carolina and Virginia markets, and now we are the regional developers for DC and Maryland as well.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. And how did it change your life? Obviously enough that you wanted to open your own business.
Yeah, so, the relationship between chiropractic care and your health in relation to the opioid epidemic, it just needs to be recognized. I am a hometown girl who has decided that I want to come back to my hometown to open businesses for others, to help others to take care of their health and wellness. I'm a living proof that chiropractic care can change your life. I'm a wife, a mom, and now an entrepreneur. And it's been a struggle for me, but chiropractic care has been my medicine.
That's huge. Okay, can we demonstrate some of the stretches that
7 of the Copyright Act 1976. Used for educational.
All right. All right, and we are back. Okay, that was fair use. Fair use, fair use. All right, so now we're going to zoom past that. All right, so Karen is not okay, so Mia and Jacqueline brought up that Karen wants to go to rehab. Karen says that Mia has an opioid addiction. It's on YouTube, and that's what we just saw right there. So she had, I guess, a situation in the past, and she's since like got herself some help. So congratulations to her. Anybody that's in sobriety, you know, it's a big deal, and it's, the work does not stop. So congratulations to her for getting the help that she deserves. Okay, so let's move on. Karen is not eating. She's waking up at 3 a.m. She said this is scary for her going into court for the second DUI. She can't say too much, but she has a lawyer. Okay. Now, that's what Karen said at the dinner table, because remember, they're still at Ashley's house. It's Karen, Gizelle, and Ashley. All right, so Gizelle says, pastors and politicians need to be married, because Karen had asked her, like, how do you, Jamal, and she went in to say that, pastors and politicians needs to be married. He needs to stay married. He needs to have good connections with New Birth. And she wants the best for him. He is engaged, but now he is married. Child, that was a lot in itself. It sounds like, he just needs to keep that money flowing. We have daughters, and we are tied to each other for life. And no matter who he marries, Gizelle will always be the mother of his children. Right? So let's move on over to Miss Wendy. She is at dinner with her mother, husband, children, and they discuss that she was crying all day and she's excited. She said the kids are growing up on her. Well, both of her children, like her youngest daughter, had graduated, I believe, from like pre-K. And then like her second oldest son, he was going to like middle school. So let's get into this. Wendy is having a party, and that's an all-white party. And the party is up to $60,000. And why did Wendy's mother need to hear the dollar amount? Because she went in to say, is that why I didn't get my allowance this month? And so Wendy ended up cash apping her, selling her $500 allowance. Then get into this. So Eddie's side of the family has come into Wendy's. Well, she wanted them to come to her birthday party, but Wendy's mom feels like they denied them. And she feels like they need to get a babysitter. So like 4 hours. She was like, this is America. You can get like a babysitter. And I totally agree with that. But Eddie's family did not come to his graduation or their wedding. I believe. Don't give me I might have to retract that, but I don't believe that Eddie's family had come to his wedding as well. Now get into this, child. Speaking of family. So then we get to Ashley's house. Ashley mom, she comes over. She gets to talk about her man, and Ashley's saying, giving her spill about what she's been through. And then it really focuses on her mother and, her mother's man. And is her man doing anything financially for her? I guess that the daddy was, or Ashley's mother's man was freeloading off of her. And so she says, he got a job. Ashley asks, oh, was he giving you money? No, not really. And so they have an emotional moment. Then, so pretty much that's that. It was, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care for Ashley. I just don't. She's so boring, and her storylines are just, they make me sleepy. Okay. Now let's move right on. So Jassi arrives at the event. at the Willard. She speaks with the director. She's making sure the bar is intact and open. It's an open bar. The event space is open and ready for the party. So now we're at the Willard. Everyone is showing up. And so they show up. Okay, Mia and Ink shows up together. Um, Gizelle was there. I think all the ladies were there. They were on time. So there was no schedule or time conflicts, right? I'm proud of Gizelle and Ashley for being on time and some being on their best behavior at this event, right? Because Jassi, this was her event and this was representing her husband. I mean, it was a beautiful set, and I mean, just the room was just decorated real nice, and it was very clean, you know. So Kiki and her husband comes in, and then guess what? Mia tries to go in for a hug. Kiki was like, she was like, Kiki wanted to clear up some things with Mia because she was standing at her, seeing that her man was a drug dealer, right? She said that her boyfriend was a drug dealer, right? And so Gizelle says that that is detrimental if you're saying that about her current dude, and that's not him. You could really mess up his reputation. So, Mia apologizes and, pretty much tries to like brush it off, but she didn't really have all that energy. And I want to say maybe because it was at the event, or I'm just trying to figure out, are we going to hear more about this in episode 8? I want to know what episode 8 is going to give, because I want to know how the ladies felt about the event, how they felt about Darius. But let's get into it. So Ashley's asking about what TJ and Stacy like to do. Child, he embarrassed her and said, "Oh, well, we went to the zoo yesterday." He's just like so quirky. Like, he is so quirky, right? But he's fun. Like I said, I feel like he's a great guy. He gives great energy. He's not like a lackluster. He's not like a buzzkill. And so then Mr. Harris walks in with his friend Prince and says, "My lady's in here." Though he goes in and greets his woman, they have a nice, beautiful kiss. And she greets him, and then she stands up and she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't see you before you left this morning." And so, they give each other a little kiss. And so Gizelle started complimenting Jassie's man child. Giselle, you better back up. Okay. Listen here, you better back up. But he do have a friend. Okay, so Jazzy comes out. She wants to say thank you for showing appreciation for her amazing 3-time Super Bowl fiance. And before she closed it out, she said, "What's for you is for you. And nobody can take that away." You know what? I said, you know what? Ain't God good? I said, that young lady better say it. I mean, you could just feel the love, and the energy was just so magnificent in that room. Like, everybody was smiling. I mean, even the ladies that didn't really too much care for themselves, like Mia and Ashley, they actually had to sit down, y'all. No, seriously, they actually had to sit down. And maybe I'm jumping too ahead of the story, but yeah, we're gonna get to that here in a few. So, uh, does the old so Karen and Mia, Giselle gets Karen and Mia. They go to the table, and Karen said, "You have to go to rehab for opioids." And she, Mia, pretty much explained, you know, after her son was born, she had a cesarean, and then she had, eventually gained traction for that, right? You get what I'm saying? You can read in between the lines. And then she says, like, when you get to reaching chiropractor moves and painting the side of your body, you no longer, I mean, once you get into the chiropractor and start doing those the adjustments and things like that, your body no longer needs that medication because, the pain. Karen says, I mean, they were going back and forth and whatever, but Karen was like, I'll keep it cute, just don't come for me, but I will come for you again. It's like, let's keep it cute, and, keep it on mute. So after that, let's go ahead over. So this is where Karen and her nephew, her cousin, they meet for a bite to eat. They get to discussing that Karen was on the phone with him during the accident. You saw episode 1 where they reenacted the whole scene. And he was on the phone. So they have a serious moment, and it was very scary. Then he started crying and she started getting all teary-eyed. She starts explaining that she was stressed about everything. In court, her husband, it was just a lot going on. And pretty much what it all boiled down to at the end of the conversation, she said that she wanted to focus on her healing. So let's move on. So we got Gordon. Gordon says, I'm not feeling you and her together. He's not going to film with them together, with the kids, without the kids. He don't want them. He don't want old boy around. He don't want Ink around. Gordon does not want Ink around. Mia and Ink and Gordon is in the same house now. Okay, they were in the same house. I mean, just imagine your homie, you get married, they say like, I want to say 2 weeks in or 2 months in or something. Early on, she got pregnant with Ink's baby and she had to terminate it. And Ink, what I didn't like about him is I feel like he can't take no accountability and he is B-made. I can say that he's like slightly B-made. Like when it comes to like, come on, like whether if you agree with this dude or not, like, he's like on his way up out of here. Don't be a reason that, he goes to glory. It's like kind of fall back a little bit, date with her, but I would say that's still her husband, like kind of still respect his wishes, Yes. And that's what I feel too. That's what I feel too. He wants to have this like so much to say, but legally that's still that woman's husband. Norris Tony said Ink needs to stay in his place. Absolutely. All right, so let's see. So Gordon doesn't need him to be a part of their co-parenting. He had adultery with his wife. He sees that ain't what. Oh, and then okay, so he had adultery with his wife, and he sees that he wants to tear his woman apart. And Mia and Ink gotten pregnant after Gordon and Mia had gotten married. Okay, and I just said that. So Mia, I feel like Mia is really taking like the coward role or whatever it is up out of here. She's taking no accountability because she's acting like this man's mental health is just all over the place. But no, girl, you over here playing both sides of the fence. You over here getting your cake and ice cream and eating it too. And listen here, from the beginning, you knew what it was. You need when you're young and okay, I need a sugar daddy. What does it, what I'm saying? Sugar daddy. Eventually you're going to give up the sugar, okay? You end up giving up the sugar. You have kids by him. And, karma will circle back around, And I feel like that's your husband and he needs your help right now or whatever the case may be. He financed you. See, that's why it's for better or for worse, for sickness and in health, for up and down. Like, you just don't get up and do that. You don't do nobody like that. You're not going to have any luck in life. But listen here, I want you guys to sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. Listen here, this is your recap of season 9, episode 7, hard launch, soft ending. On that note, I'm your host, Queen Tulsa. So. Something
want it. Girls can't never say yeah.